This is the all-new Canyon Spectral, and you may agree with me on this, but it looks very much like the old one. Believe me though, under the skin it is a very different beast. The headline change is all models come with Canyon's Keep It Stable or K.I.S. steering stabiliser. But do the changes Canyon has made give it the potential to be the ultimate trail bike? And is the K.I.S. system the future of mountain bike handling? Our technical writer Luke Marshall's been lucky enough to shred this new bike already, so check out what he thinks it's like to ride a bit later on. The Spectral is Canyon's all-round trail bike, the brand's bread and butter if you will. Bread and butter should be simple, but the Spectral range was, until now, actually pretty complex, with multiple models, wheel sizes and options to choose from. This new Spectral simplifies things while keeping the option for different wheel sizes. As I mentioned, you'll find the K.I.S. system on all of the models, so let me explain what this actually is. In basic terms, it's two springs housed in the top tube that actively work to bring your bars back to centre as you ride along. How strong this effect is adjusted by the slider on the top tube. The idea is that the system's centering force works to improve the predictability of the steering, improving rider control. Overall, Canyon's claim this counteracts reduced traction on loose terrain, deflected steering on rough and off-camber sections of trail, and front wheel flop on steep climbs. This is the latest version of K.I.S. and Canyon says it's better than ever. Well, they would, wouldn't they? They've reduced the strength of the springs and given the system a lower maximum and minimum settings within the adjustment window. All bikes are shipped with a blanking plate for the top tube, so you can remove the system if you want to. The K.I.S. system may grab the headlines, but there's plenty to talk about elsewhere on the new Spectral. Like many of its rivals, it now features internal frame storage. Canyon claims the clever knee lever mechanism for the lid can be opened easily and fiddle-free by even the coldest and muddiest of hands. From our brief impressions, it seems pretty true to its word. Inside, you can fit Canyon's optional tool bundle in a water-resistant bag loaded with tyre levers, an inner tube, CO2 inflator and cartridges, and a 2-in-1 multi-tool. Canyon even says it has developed a compact rain jacket that weighs less than 100 grams specifically for the Spectral. If you have more than fits in the frame, there's accessory mounts under the top tube, and Canyon has worked with Fidlock to develop a specially designed 850ml water bottle. Alternatively, a standard 600mm bottling cage like this one will also fit. Right then, that's what makes the new Spectral more complex than the old bike. So let's get into what actually makes it simpler. Canyon has simplified the range into 4 models: the CF7, the CF8, the CF9 and CF Limited. All feature the option of full 29 or mullet wheel setups, with the exception of the extra small size which is only available as a mullet. Somewhat sadly, US customers will only get the full 29er builds. For those wondering, the Spectral 125 is still going to be available for a short time. Thanks to a flip chip in the chainstay though, you can switch between sizes regardless of which model you choose. All you need is a different rear wheel, flip the chip and you're good to go. There's also another flip chip in the lower shock mount to alter the bike's geometry. This raises the bottom bracket by 8mm and steepens the head angle and seat angle by half a degree. On the subject of geometry, and following a wider trend that's arguably seen the longer, lower and slacker movement hit the brakes a bit, the new Spectral isn't that far removed from the old one. The head angle remains at 64 degrees with the geometry set in the low position, while the seat angle is 76.5 degrees on all sizes. Chainstay lengths are again the same across the board regardless of the chosen frame size, at 429mm with a mullet setup and 437mm in full 29er mode. No size-specific geometry here and all pretty standard trail bike fare. Leaning on the latest drive, and the reach numbers are definitely on the longer side of things though. A medium-sized frame sports a 475mm reach, which is similar to other brand-sized larges, so you may want to size down from your usual choice. Aside from the aforementioned Spectral 125, all Spectrals now sport 140mm of rear wheel travel and 150mm forks. This has dropped 10mm of travel off both ends, If you want to see the full geometry charts and specifications of each model, check out the news story on BikeRadar.com with the link in the description. But before you do that, I know you're all dying to know how this thing rides. So over to Luke, who has spent the last week putting the new bike through its paces.
Jumping on the new Spectral CF9 makes you feel completely at ease from the get-go. Well, depending where you set the K.I.S., that is. I find there are pros and cons to this system, and it takes time to fine-tune the spring tension. I found if it's set too firmly, the bike is difficult to initiate a turn, like it wants to stand the bike up, causing understeer and panic mid-turn braking. I've been lucky to ride this bike before it's been released, but I do need more time to fine-tune the spring tension to get the most from it. Still, find the sweet spot, and the effects in turns are minimal, allowing you to carve corners as hard as ever. Plus, it adds front end stability on steep trails when the front wheel is loaded less than ideally, or when bouncing over rough sections of trail, keeping the front wheel tracking where you want it to go. Initially, it appears to be a fine balancing act, but once you get used to it, I'm sure there are potential improvements in handling. Given the Spectral is now an aggro 140mm travel trail bike, it climbs much as I expected. The seated position was comfortable and distributed my weight between the wheels well. I had plenty of grip on the back tyre, while the front wheel remained loaded and I was able to track accurately on steeper climbs. The 76.5-degree seat tube angle and fairly long 559mm effective top tube length on my size small gave a comfortable position that allowed efficient pedal stroke over a wide range of trails and gradients. On more technical trails, I left the climb switch open to maximise grip and comfort, and the bike has good pedalling characteristics and rear end stability even in this mode. Even so, on smooth climbs, I flick the climb switch to maximise pedalling efficiency. The Spectral CF9 is a capable and comfortable climber considering its descending fun. The Spectral CF9 is intuitive to ride once I got the K.I.S. tension to my liking. The bike is light on the wheels and it has plenty of pop and a lively ride feel due to its moderately damp shock tune. This gives a decent platform to push against on the trails and helps maintain speed, but it does lack a little small bump finesse. It's still a trail bike with 140mm travel though, so everything has to be balanced. With K.I.S. in a setting that allowed me to feel comfortable in the corners, the Spectral was playful and fun. It still maintains precision and stability though, which meant I could ride aggressively and never felt the bike become vague or nervous through the turns. The Spectral was incredibly predictable in its handling and suspension feel, something that boosts confidence on the trail, and it can handle harder hits well. It's got a wide comfort zone on the descents thanks to its 64-degree head tube angle, and it doesn't easily feel overwhelmed. For those wanting to push the upper end of its limits, a sturdier front tyre than the Maxxis Minion DHR2 and its EXO casing might be needed. Still, the geometry on my test bike was balanced and the suspension refined to deliver a predictable, comfortable and controlled trail demeanour. Plus, the spec is nothing but high quality functionality. If you want to go mountain biking and take in everything from an all-day trail centre blast, bike park laps, local wood thrashes and anything else you can think of, the Spectral feels up to the task. It's a fine Swiss Army knife of bikes. Is the K.I.S. system the future? Maybe not. But these are my initial thoughts after a few rides. Expect a full review to come with plenty more details and in-depth impressions.
So the Spectral has impressed us so far, but what do you think? Do you believe we'll see more steering stabilisers on bikes, or should we really just be keeping it simple? Let us know down in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you want to see our thoughts on another of 2024's biggest bike launches, then check out this video.